So laser energetic detox is a great way of eliminating toxins, balancing systems in the body, and increasing nutritional deficiencies. It's something that we can test for using ART, which is an advanced form of applied kinesiology. We can then go in and find the priority of what's going on in the system, what needs to be balanced exactly, or what specific toxins need to be detoxified. For instance, mercury or heavy chemicals. And so it gives us the opportunity then to really be specific in our treatment and releasing these toxins in the body within a 24-hour period, as well as increasing deficiencies and balancing, like hormones, for instance.
So how do they know that this works?
Well, there have been studies that show that when someone does a laser energetic detox, that for example, mercury is released at a higher rate right after a detoxification, and showing that it is released within a 24-hour period through the urine usually.
So you're using just this laser, this little laser thing, how does that affect me? You have a laser and then something in a homeopathic vial. How does that affect me?
Okay, so when we use the laser with the homeopathic vial, the laser actually picks up the homeopathic frequency and lasers it into your system through your meridian network. And we actually laser all the acupressure points through the hands and the feet and the ears, and the body picks that up as a communication right into the cell, communicating to the cell that it can then release, if it's a toxic substance, that it can release that toxic substance and move it efficiently through the body. And we have seen that happen within a 24-hour period versus like weeks and months of a detoxification program nutritionally or biochemically.
Okay. Yeah, I know with my patients, when I test them, I go through then ART testing and see what's going on inside the body, and I see, frequently you have like heavy metal toxicity like mercury, lead, aluminum, cadmium, etc. And you're dealing with neurological issues. You can't focus, you have pain, or arthritis, or it can be a number of different things. And then I know after I send them to you and I retest them, I see that they move the toxins out much quicker. So on my end, I see such a huge difference. And I know that, what I understand is that you have the cell, and then you may have then different chemical components that attach to it, and the difficult thing is to then remove that chemical, the metal, away from that cell. You can give a lot of natural agents to try to move it away, but my understanding is that this actually helps to unravel that mercury, or the lead, or hydrocarbon, or whatever it is, away from that cell, so we can then eliminate it efficiently. So is that what you're seeing also?
Yes, I as you and I both know, the body really wants to heal itself.
Yeah.
We just have to tell it what to do. And this is a way of telling it, kind of directing it, and to what it needs to do, the action it needs to take. And so by using this medium of light to then send out these homeopathic frequencies into the body using quantum physics, it's all based on quantum physics.
Yeah.
It is actually communicating to the system, and we see it's incredibly efficient how quickly the system responds and eliminates these toxins or balances neurotransmitters, balances hormones, and increases deficiencies such as mineral and vitamin deficiencies.
That's pretty amazing. I know medicine, it's moving more and more then towards quantum physics, So I mean, we're still kind of very Newtonian, so to say. I mean, we're still dealing with very physical science, you know, take this, you know, for that ailment, but they're understanding more and more that it's more kind of the information that if we supply the proper information to an individual, like the information about the mercury, information about a virus, or information about a hormone, that the body has the ability then to regulate itself and correct itself and then find its own balance.
Right.
So.
And this is based on not only quantum physics, but on homeopathy and acupuncture, as well as biochemical and nutritional detoxification.
Okay, so homeopathy, I mean, how's homeopathy involved in this?
Well, these vials, which you can see here, hold frequencies of the substance. This is an immune system vial. And it's the frequency, like in homeopathic medicine, we can take it orally, or we can put it on our skin, where this is actually taking the frequency of the substance and lasering it directly into the system, and so it's quicker and more efficient.
So you don't have to rely on digestive system, you don't have to rely on, you know, it going through the skin.
Right.
It's actually just direct information, direct energy, and then the body can then utilize that information to do whatever it is that they need to do.
Right.
Okay, perfect.
So some of the programs that we offer here in the office, I'm going to go over a few now. The first I'm going to go over is the Krebs cycle, which is the energy producing cycle in our system, in the cells. And so it's hard sometimes when we are dealing with low energy or issues that have to do with low energy to really see the glitch that is actually causing the cells to produce less energy. So this way we can go in and get really specific and find out exactly what's going on. So for conditions like chronic fatigue, slow healing, a number of different, even some autoimmune disorders, we can actually go in and see what's really happening, what's really going on in the body. The next is minerals and vitamins and amino acids and fats and oils. Here's the minerals and the vitamins, and we can go in and test for specific vitamins and minerals, amino acids and fats and oils that someone may be either excess in or deficient in, and go in and balance those, either bringing the deficiency up or eliminating if it's toxic in the body, we can eliminate it through the laser energetic detox. Also, we can look at different issues with nerves, whether that's major conditions like MS or Parkinson's, or if it's just issues with pain. Also thoracic issues, if you are going to the chiropractor and you're having like your neck keeps going out or something, this can help keep that, hold that chiropractic adjustment, as well as there's so many nerves that run through the spine and it feeds all of our organs, and so it's helping not only our thoracic spine but and our spine, but it's helping our entire body. So that's a really good one to look at. We also can look at genetic issues and see what's going on. If there's something that has been passed on through DNA, we can look at that and do some work with that. Also neurotransmitters, with depression, just feeling blue, looking at what is low, we can go in and balance that, bring it up, so that people can feel better. The immune system is a really important one. Having a healthy immune system is critical. and we can go in and see what is going on with the immune system, whether it's autoimmune disease or just getting sick often. Viruses are, as everyone knows, a big issue, and sometimes we have viruses that live in our bodies that wreak havoc, and we don't even realize that they're there. And so it's good to go in and then be able to really pinpoint what is going on with the body and what viruses are just kind of lurking in the background that's causing a lot of other issues. And of course, like the endocrine system and the hormone receptors are, this is what we use to balance hormones. The hormone receptors are just as important as the hormones themselves, because the receptors are where it attaches to the hormone, and sometimes they can get clogged up, whether with toxins and everyday, either household toxins, environmental toxins, heavy metals, or chemicals. And so that brings us to clearing different household toxins. This is wonderful for sick building syndrome, if anyone is experiencing that, or if you just don't feel good in your home. Not only can we go in and see what is causing you to not feel good, but it can also give you an idea of what would be good to eliminate or change in your own house. Environmental toxins, you can go in and again see what's causing the problem and giving you more of an idea of what things to look out for, whether it is outdoor molds, or dust and fumes, or hydrocarbon fuels, and what your body is negatively responding to. We have geopathic stressors, which is a really interesting program that we offer, and it kind of gives you an idea if you're sensitive to like solar tides, underground caves, maybe underground flowing water, because a lot of times this can be very disruptive to individuals, and yet it's something that is often overlooked. And so by using the light medium, which is, you can kind of see here, this is the laser that we use. We use a vial with the homeopathic frequency, and it's placed into the laser, and then just lasered onto the body. By using this non-invasive way of detoxifying the body or balancing the systems, it's pain-free, and it can be very relaxing.
So you've shown all these awesome vials here, like for instance, let's say the genetic material right here. Mm-hmm. So what, I mean, from my understanding then there can be a lot of things that are interfering with genes. I mean, like it can be a nutritional deficiency, so then when you are pinpointing which gene it is or which chromosome, or even you have like mitochondrial DNA or mRNA, all these different things, then you can also locate and see if there's some metal chemical, or if there's a vitamin deficiency, or even an emotional issue that's behind it.
Yeah, exactly. And when people sign up for these different programs, oftentimes I'm not just testing this package of vials, but I will go in and see what's causing the deficiency or whatever's going on. I'll often go to heavy metals or chemicals or viruses sometimes, and see if there's a connection there. And you're right too, a lot of the genetic components can be connected to emotional issues.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. And then also like with the hormone receptor sites that you had here, you know, what can be wrong with them sometimes? I mean, what when you're testing the different hormone receptor sites, let's say a person has a thyroid issue, and we're looking here for see, thyroid, yeah, so here's a thyroxine receptor site. So what can go wrong there?
Well, so like in that case, you can look at heavy metal toxicity, or look at iodine deficiency, and so there's there's things that you can kind of just contribute or understand that might be something that's going on.
Okay.
It's not just the receptor site that's the problem, but it's something that is continually clogging that receptor.
So you can have like a metal or a chemical, or it can even be like a virus producing some toxins, and those toxins that are clogging up that receptor site, making that even though you have plenty of thyroid hormones in your blood, and you do blood tests and it looks all normal, they just aren't able to land and stimulate then the cells because the thyroid receptor sites and are clogged up with all that stuff. Is that correct?
Yeah, and there's no place for it to go.
Okay, perfect. And also, I know you went through all the virus vials here, but then also we have the same. You can do the same with fungus, bacteria, mold, you know, all these different things. So we can do the similar, and frequently then they can create like swelling or autoimmune disorders, and so you can kind of see how it's affecting the body in other ways, and then kind of do a laser energetic detox on all the aspects around that virus.
Right.
Okay, perfect. And then with autoimmune, then you have like an immune system. So how can we use this? Let's say a person is dealing with Hashimoto's, just to kind of keep the thyroid issue alive. So Hashimoto's then is when the immune system is then attacking the thyroid. So how can you use these vials in regards to that?
Well, in that case, it's an autoimmune issue, and so the immune system is not acting in a way it should be acting, and so then we can go in and see what aspect of the immune system needs to be addressed.
So then lasering, let's say that we have the T lymphocytes is upregulated, or they're too active, you know, which happens with autoimmune when it's kind of hyperactive and start to attack the self, you know, like in this case Hashimoto's, the thyroid, and we pinpoint that it's a T lymphocytes, and then by lasering the T lymphocytes and into the system, and then maybe also then having with a focus on the thyroid, I mean, what kind of impact does that have on the body?
Yeah, tremendous impact, and that is a good point, is I can go in and kind of put the thyroid into the mix, so the body then is knowing that we're dealing just with the thyroid, what's going on with the thyroid, and then you can test for the immune system component, you could test for the viral component if that's the case, and deal with it from that perspective. So it's not looking at the entire body necessarily, but just like on certain organs, you can get specific in your detoxification, and you can actually laser right over the thyroid as well as the hands, the ears, and the feet.
Oh, okay, perfect. So then you can actually then upregulate, downregulate then the immune system, like, you know, if it's too hyperactive like an autoimmune, then by lasering in then the T lymphocytes or whichever one it is, then it will help them to downregulate that, so it balances out that effect. Or if you're dealing with a let's say cancer, you know, obviously we're not going to say that we're going to cure cancer by this, but it's something that can be beneficial as a component in one's treatment. So let's say, for instance, here you have natural killer cells, which is part of the immune system. So let's say a person has cancer of the ovaries or colon, so how would we be able to use this in that severe of a immune deficiency, so to say?
The same idea, specifying that area where the cancer is growing, and then testing for the natural killer cell, it can then calm that reaction to the organ itself, so it's not attacking it.
Okay, so it's not attacking it, but then also when it's not active enough, I mean, when you want to upregulate it.
Oh, and yes, then you can actually kind of direct it where to go to fight something.
Okay, perfect. So it recognizes then that the cancer is there, and then you can then increase the transport of, like, for instance, natural killer cells into that site.
Yes.
Perfect. That's exciting.
Yes.
Then also, what else was I thinking about? And also here, if we have, you're talking then about the sick building syndrome. You got these groups here. So many different vials. There's so much stuff we can do. So here you have then, you're dealing with the sick building syndrome, and a lot of people then with like headaches, joint ache, they're fatigued, and they don't know why, and sometimes you have people when they start a new job, and then all of a sudden they have all these issues, starting then, and they don't know why, or they move to a new place, and they don't know why they're feeling sick at this new place. So with that, I mean, as you mentioned, I mean, here you have all the different household components. You have hygiene and grooming products, even fabrics and fibers, dog hair, feather mix, all these things, so you can then actually isolate which one it is. And then also, if you have an immune system reaction, then you can then combine it then with, see which immune system component that becomes then hyperactive. So you can combine the two, or if there's a toxin, let's say, household item, then maybe you can combine it with like the liver or the kidney to speed up the detoxification. Is that right?
Okay. Yeah, the export of those toxins.
Yeah, exactly. And then also then, a lot of people then dealing with depression and the neurotransmitters. Here they are, and so you can have depression, and also, what are some other issues that people are dealing with, emotional issues that can be helpful?
Oh, well, there's a whole list of
I mean, I know people coming into me, they're dealing with anxiety, sometimes panic attacks, and I know neurotransmitters are, those are the little chemicals that help, a nerve signal go from, you have a nerve signal, and then there's a little gap between the nerves, and the neurotransmitters just help then that signal to continue from one nerve to another. So even then in like pain syndromes I've seen, or just lack of energy, or I mean, lack of sleep. I mean, the neurotransmitters are so important in so many different ways, and even with irritable bowel syndrome, and because you have in your intestines, you have quite a bit of neurotransmitters also. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Great. And like also with Parkinson's, you have like dopamine, L-dopa. So if you have headaches, it can be like serotonin deficiency and so forth. So.
And it also can be really helpful if people are at a stage in their own healing process where they want to try to get off some of the medications that they're on, and or try to taper them down. We can kind of look and see if that's possible, or if this could help them in that process, which is exciting.
Yeah, that's very exciting. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.